What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. This one's going to be an updated tutorial on how to add custom weapons into your 5M server. Again, I am on the QBCore framework, so I'll be showing you how to do it on that. I will do my best to do a ESX install as well. I'll have to learn that as well. So just give me some time and I will make that video for you guys. But today I'm doing QBCore framework. I'm going to show you how to add a pistol in this video, as well as a SMG, which is the one my character is holding right now. I'm going to show you how to add this one in. Yes, it does shoot. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for the 14K views on the last video. I hope that helped you guys out a little bit. This video, like I said, is going to be a full tutorial on how to do everything, how to install the V weapon toolkit, where to find guns at, and how to download them, and how to add them or transfer them from a replacement to an add-on weapon, and all of that fun stuff. Show you how to add attachments, how to make attachments items, and things like that. Again, thank you for all the support on the last video. I've been trying to read all the comments and help you guys out in the comments as much as possible. So that's why I'm making this video, just to clear the air on everything and just give you a full updated version on how to do it on the latest version of QBCore, which is what I'm on. If you have any questions, again, please make sure to leave them in the comments and I will try to respond as fast as possible. Alrighty, so the first step that we are going to want to do is download V weapon toolkit. Okay, I'm going to leave the link to this GitHub repository in the description below. So that's where you want to go for the latest version of V weapon toolkit. So to get the latest version, once you're on the GitHub page, you'll see on the right hand side a section where it says releases, and then there's like a little 6. So I'll just click on that. It will bring me into this page now, where under assets, you'll see V weapons toolkit -v 1.05.zip. I'll click on that and it will download it for me. So once that is downloaded, I'll go ahead and open that file. I'll minimize my browser. I will then go to my desktop, create a new folder. I'll call it weapons toolkit. Okay. Put that there for now. And I will drag everything from this RAR or zip file to my weapons toolkit folder that I can close out of this. Now you will see a V weapons toolkit.exe file. Okay. This is what you're going to want to click on to be able to open the toolkit. And you will be using this toolkit to take replacement weapons and changing them to add-on weapons. Okay, so we will double click this file. You might get this Windows protected, your PC. Just click more info and then run anyways. Okay, so now that we have our toolkit, we can now go and start making add-on weapons. So go ahead and open our browser. I'm going to be using this Glock 17 from Fluffy Plays. He makes amazing high quality models for weapons for 5M. So this is what we're going to be using. I'm going to leave a link to this weapon in the description. That way you guys can go and download this one as well. Under all versions here, we're going to have 1.2. That's the current one. I'm going to click on this little button right here with the arrow. It's going to bring us to another page and just click this big old green download button. Okay, once that's done installing, open file. I'll just minimize the toolkit and minimize my browser. And here I will create a new file. I'll call this Glock 17. I'll open that. And then in my zip file here I've opened, I'll click on Fluffy Mods Glock 17. I'll go to 5M, Glock 17, stream, and I'll just use the combat. They're all the same, but I don't know. I'll just choose a combat pistol, and then I'll copy all these files and I'll put them into this folder here. So once we have that, we will have all of our YDR files and YTD files. And now, like we did in the last video, we are going to rename all of them. So instead of W underscore PI underscore combat pistol, we're going to change it to W underscore PI underscore Glock 17. Okay. We're going to copy that and we are going to rename all of them, making sure to keep the underscore high and underscore mag. Okay. So now that we have that, we can then pull this over to the side here. We can open our toolkit. Okay. So now for the fun part, turning it from a replacement to a add-on. Here, I'll just pull up the model for us real quick. That way we can see what we're going to be adding. Right here it is. Glock 17. Amazing model. Okay. So in our toolkit here, we're going to have select weapon template. We're going to drop this little box down here and we are going to be, I'm going to be using the combat pistol. You can use the normal pistol as well, which is right here, but I'm going to be using the combat pistol. So we'll select weapon underscore combat pistol. For weapon name, this is going to be the file name. Okay. So just like this folder we made here, we're just going to name it the same for the weapon name, which would be Glock 17. Weapon ID, this will be your spawn code name. You can have this set to numbers. You can have it set to random letters, whatever your heart desires. But for now, we'll just do weapon underscore Glock 17, making sure to keep it all caps. Your weapon model, this is going to be your model name. So W underscore PI underscore Glock 17. That's what we'll paste in here. So I'll just copy, I'll double click on this, copy the name, Control C, Control V in here. Okay. So now where it says import folder, we'll click browse right here and we will select this folder. So we'll go to desktop and go to our folder where we have all of these models and textures in. So Glock 17 and select folder. So now under files found, you'll see your files here. Some will be green and some will be blue. Okay, that's completely normal. So your Glock, this is your Glock model, the actual gun itself. Okay, so right here, this model is the green. Okay, and then the blue are your attachments. Okay, so next, now that we have these in, we'll go to configuration. You can change your audio to make it sound whatever gun you want. I'm just going to keep it the same with the combat pistol. Your weapon damage, you can always change these later in the weapons.meta file. So I'm just going to leave everything else here the exact same. And if I want to change them later down the road, I can do that in my weapons.meta file. Now we have our components. So here in this part, we'll click add component in the bottom left hand corner. We'll click on component underscore AT underscore railguard underscore 01. and we will change this. So this gun comes with 2 mags. So mag underscore or underscore mag 1 and mag 2. Okay. So since I did combat pistol, I'm going to use the combat pistol clip. Okay. So in this box, in this drop down box, I will find component underscore combat pistol underscore clip underscore 01. And I'll click that. Now we will rename it. So I'm going to leave the component. I'm just going to change the combat pistol to Glock 17, all caps to match. And then your model name. So this is going to be your WPI underscore Glock 17 underscore mag 1, which is what it is here. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste this in here for simplicity. Then you have your model LOD and then your clip size. I'm just going to leave my clip size at 12, which means it'll have 12 rounds in the gun with this mag in it. Ammo info, I'm just going to leave that the default ammo. I like to uncheck this component enabled. You'll see why once we get there, but I just like to leave it unchecked. So now that there's a second mag, we're going to do the same thing. Bottom left, add component, click on the top component here, drop this box down and change it to component underscore combat pistol underscore clip underscore 02. Do the same thing, rename it Glock 17, and then change this to Glock 17 as well. Clip size 16. I'm going to change it to 18. And yeah, so now that we have everything in here added, once we click on export, you'll see all the files again, but they'll all be green. Okay. So they're all green now. So now we can export it. So in our toolkit here, we have a export folder. Okay. That's where I'm going to be exporting to. So I'll browse, go to my exports folder, select folder, and then click export. It'll say successfully exported to that folder. Click OK. We can close out of this. And now if we go to our export folder, our Glock 17 folder will be in here with all of our files. All right. So now, once you have all your weapon or your files for your weapon, what I do is I make sure everything is matched up right. So I go in the metas folder, components folder. Okay. So right here, you'll see component underscore combat pistol underscore clip underscore 01. It's supposed to look like the clip underscore 02, right? So I can go in here, change this to Glock 17, go in, open this folder, and then the weapon components.meta file. I open that as well, and I'm going to need to change this name as well. Glock 17, okay, has your weapon or your model for your magazine, right? So that matches. Okay, clip size 12, perfect. Now we can go back. I just make sure this one matches as well, which it does. Glock 17 underscore clip underscore 02 with the model name as well. Now I go back into the metas folder with these files, and you'll see weapons.meta. Open that up, and then it'll probably bring you to the top here. Just scroll down to where you find the attachments right here. So your attach points, these are going to be all your attachments. You have your type, your bone type. You have, and then you obviously have your default value, which is equals to true, meaning it will show up on the gun, and then your name of your component. So this says combat pistol, so I need to change it to Glock 17. Okay, keep the value true. And then you have your extended mag. Okay. And then that is set to false, and the name is correct. So once you have that all matching up, you can then take your folder here with all of your files. Just copy this. Oh, sorry. Copy that, go into your resources folder. I make a new folder. I call it weapons in the brackets. Now I can paste this in here. Okay. Now we also need to make sure that this folder is insured in our server CFG. Okay. Which it is right here. That way the server can start it up and find that weapon for you. Now, once we have that, we can go into our files now. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm using the newest version of QBCore. So I'm going to show you how to do it on QB. I will also show you how to add it into OX inventory, but I will not be using, I won't show you in the server. I'll just show you how to add it through files, but it'll work. Okay, so to add the weapon to make it an actual item, you just first have to go to your QBCore folder, shared items.lua. So in here, you will see your handguns, your SMGs, things like that. So we're going to be using a handgun, so I'm just going to copy this line, and I'm going to make a space for it. I'm just going to call it custom weapons. And so here, with it just being copy and paste, we can easily just change the names of these. So weapon underscore Glock 17. Make sure these are lowercase and they also match the spawn code name in your metas file. So right here, weapon underscore Glock 17 is going to be capitalized in this file, but when you're in the items.lua, make sure it's lowercase. So we can then just copy that and paste it where the name is, where it says name. Your label is going to be the item name, so Glock 17. So whenever I have it in my inventory, it'll show up as Glock 17. Your weight, I'm just going to change it to 3,000, which means 3 kilograms or 3 pounds. Ammo type, pistol. I'll make another video on images, how I like to make custom images for items and stuff. But this will be your image name. Unique, make sure that's set to true. Usable, false, and then your description if you want to give it a fancy description. I don't want to give it a description, so I'm just going to leave that blank. So once you have that done now, you're going to want to go into your QBCore shared weapons.lua. And same thing, just copy a line here, drop down, I'll label it as well. Okay. And then same thing here, Glock 17, copy, paste it where it says name, label. I'm just going to do Glock 17 with a dash. Weapon type, pistol, ammo type, ammo underscore pistol, damage reason. Pretty easy. Now, once you have that done, we're going to go into QB weapons, client, and weapon draw. Okay. Here, drop down a line, weapon underscore Glock 17, comma, under local weapons. So this will give you the animation of pulling it out of, I believe your back is the way your character pulls a gun out. So make sure you keep that, or you're going to instantly pull your weapon out, which is kind of, I don't know, I don't really like it. So now here we have in our QB weapons config file, we have our config wep draw. This is for holsters. So say you're on cop and you have a holster on your hip, your variants are going to be your clothing items, and then your weapons are going to be the weapons that give you that quick draw animation like you're pulling it out of a holster. So we'll add that to there as well. Weapon underscore Glock 17. Durability multiplier. So whenever you shoot a gun, it will do damage to the gun, or the quality of the gun. So I'll just add a section for this as well. And we'll do weapon underscore Glock 17 equals 0.15, comma. Alrighty. So now that is done, I'm going to show you how to add the spare magazine, or the extended magazine, which would be your clip underscore 02. Okay, so in your items.lua, if you scroll down a little bit, you will see this clip attachment. Okay, so I'm just going to use this, the same thing. So I'm not going to add anything in here. I'm just showing you that there is a bunch of attachments already, so you can just use that. So clip attachment, if you go back into your QB weapons config file, if you scroll down, you'll see this stuff. So weapon attachments, clip attachments. So basically what you want to do is just add the weapon name again, and then equals, and then the key next to your one, like your top row of your keyboard, is that little, like, I don't even know I don't know what it's called. I call it the grave key, but you click that, and then that's when you would put your name. So right here, component underscore Glock 17 underscore clip underscore 02 in here. Okay. And then just like that, now whenever I use a clip attachment, it will put that extended mag on. And I'll show you that in game as well, which we will be doing right now. Okay, so now once you are in your server, you can go ahead and give yourself the item. So / give item underscore or one weapon underscore Glock 17. Okay. You see, you can pull it out as your model. And if I give myself ammo, I can use ammo, they'll reload, I can shoot it, and yeah. And now I can give myself the clip attachment, give item one clip attachment, okay, and that will put the extended mag on, and you can see up in the top right hand corner it goes from 12 to 18. And again, still shoots, reload, same thing. I can add more ammo into it. Yeah. All right, so that's how you add the Glock. Now let's do the P90. Okay, so for the P90, we're gonna go back to our GTA5mods.com. Go to the, or find the FMP90. Again, link will be in the description for this weapon. This is made by Marco. Another great weapon maker for 5M. But yeah. So under all versions, click the little download thing here, and download button. Once that's done downloading, go ahead and open that file. Open our folder back up here. Create a new folder called P90. Same thing, 5M, P90, stream. Drag our files into that. Close that. Open our P90 folder back up. Okay, so here we have the mag. Okay, normal standard size mag, but we're also going to have our suppressor. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is just rename these suppressor files. So w underscore at underscore, instead of AR, I'm going to do P90. P90, and then for here as well. And then same thing like we did for the Glock. I'm going to change the assault SMG to P90. I'm going to copy this, that way I can just paste it. Make sure to keep the underscore high and the underscore mag. Okay. Once that's done, we can then open our toolkit. Pull this over to the side, pull this over here. Okay. So now, same thing, like we did for the Glock, choose our weapon template. So since it was replacing the assault SMG, I'm going to replace the assault SMG, or use the assault SMG template. Okay. Weapon name, aka the folder name, P90. Weapon ID, P90. Model, weapon model, W underscore SB underscore P90. Same thing. Browse for your files. It'll show your weapon model in here and all your other files. Now we go to configure. I'm just going to leave everything in here the exact same and go straight to the components. So now we're going to add our component. Click it, drop it down, find assault SMG underscore clip underscore 01. Rename that to P90. And rename this to W underscore SB underscore P90 underscore mag 1. Okay. Make sure it's lowercase. Clip size 30. I'll keep this checked. Now for the suppressor. Okay. So it was originally W underscore AT underscore AR underscore sup underscore 02. So that's what we're going to find. So click add attachment or add component. Click on the top one, drop this down. Okay. So right here, you'll see component underscore AT underscore AR underscore sup underscore 02. Click on that. Change the AR to P90. And same thing here. P90. Okay. Now we can export it. Export, browse our export folder in our weapon toolkit folder. Select folder, export. Okay. We can close out of that. I'll close out of this too. Now we open our export folder and we have our P90. Okay. Same thing. Meta files, components. Change this to P90 instead of assault SMG. Open this up. Components. We're pretty much just doing the same thing we did for the Glock. Well, we are doing the same thing for the Glock. W underscore P90 for the model. Alrighty. Again, I'll check the suppressor. All right. Matches. Cool dealio. Now we go back to our metas. Go to our weapons.meta file. Again, we scroll down to where we find our attachments. Change this to P90 to match this file right here. Okay. Default value set to true. And then our suppressor, the value set to true, so I'll change this to false. That way it doesn't, it's not on the gun when we spawn it in or buy it from a store. We actually have to physically add the attachment to it. Okay. Now, time to add it in to our server. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. Copy this, paste it, change the Glock to P90. Same thing here. P90. I'm going to move faster with this just because it's the exact same process. So instead of ammo underscore pistol, it will be ammo underscore SMG. And I'll just change the image name, keep unique true. Boom. Now, same thing for the weapons.lua, but I will, I'll copy an SMG line. So same thing, P90, copy this, paste that, P90, weapon type, submachine gun, ammo type, ammo underscore SMG, damage reason, boom. Weapon draw, same thing. Weapon underscore P90. Okay. In our config file, scroll up, do the same thing here. Weapon underscore P90 for our holster draw. Add our damage. So weapon underscore P90 equals 0.15, comma. Okay. And so it has, so that gun has a suppressor. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this name. And under our weapon attachments where we added our extended mag for our Glock, we'll scroll down to where we find suppressor attachment. Okay. Do weapon underscore P90 equals grave key. Paste our component name in there, comma. And just like that, we're good. So we can just make sure that our P90 is in our server with all of the metas. And then once that's done, we can restart our server and we can hop in there and give it a good test. Make sure everything works. So I'll catch you back in the server. All right, so now that we're in the server, we can test the P90 out. So here's the P90, here's a suppressor and some ammo. Can pull it out. Can reload it. Drops the mag. And then I can add the suppressor to it and I can obviously shoot it. So yeah, that has been my tutorial on how to add custom weapons. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. And as always, if you have any issues, please comment them and I will do my best to help you out in the comments. I do need to make a Discord server, so I will work on that. Maybe in the next video I make, I'll have my Discord link in the description. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for the support on the last video again. I'm very appreciative. And have a very blessed day.